Running sucks, but it has been a growing trend throughout this decade. Massive cultural shifts have encouraged people to get healthier, with running being a simple, accessible way to stay in shape. People recognize the mental health benefits of running, such as reducing anxiety and stress, which further fueled its popularity. Platforms like Instagram and Strava have made running a highly visible activity. Runners share their achievements, daily runs, and fitness journeys online. Fitness tracking and personal improvement stories have become a cultural movement, creating a sense of belonging. Run clubs in urban areas have taken on a social dynamic, often serving as informal dating groups. The shared experience of running makes for a natural icebreaker, turning fitness into a fun and organic way to date. The run clubs I've joined in the past didn't have attractive women my age, just old people who told me they had underwear older than me. This modern running trend mirrors the 1970s running boom in that it represents a lifestyle shift where health and self-improvement are front and center. Today, it's more connected in multiple ways, but the underlying motivators of personal fitness and wellness remain similar. As someone who has been running hundreds of miles per year for over half my life, it is clear I have put more hours into this hobby than any of my other hobbies combined. I was running at times when it was not even cool. This has led me to ask the question, what exactly do runners have in common? How exactly do you pinpoint the stereotype of a runner? There are four main factors we can use to identify a runner: individuality, addiction, delusion, and endurance. What is the runner stereotype? How exactly can we identify an individual who runs? If a runner is somehow not talking about running as you beg him to shut up, there are various things that will describe them. Skinny. Many runners have a lean physique due to the endurance-based nature of running, with defined legs and a toned core. Runners do have muscle, but it is very lean. They are not skinny in the "I'm a sad boy who has feelings and can get you coke" kind of way. They are skinny in the "you look like you work out, but it's weird looking" kind of way. Athleisure. Runners are often seen in sporty, functional clothing like compression leggings, lightweight shorts, and moisture-wicking tops. In other words, work-from-home attire. Bright colors and reflective details are common during the mornings and evenings. Watch. A telltale sign is a strap-on. More specifically, a GPS watch strapped on to the wrist. These watches, often large and sporty, are used to track distance, pace, and other metrics. The industry standard for runners is Garmin, but this is not the only brand. Yes, there actually are watches besides Garmin you can use for running. Apparently. Hydration. Runners are always drinking water. They are not alcoholics. They are waterholics. Hydration is the key. What's the color of your pee? But this is just the appearance of a runner's individuality. What about the core of a runner's individuality? In the solitude of long runs, you are left alone with your thoughts, free from the distractions of daily life. The solitude becomes a mirror, reflecting your innermost fears, hopes, and dreams. You confront your limitations and discover your strengths. In order to understand the root of what being a runner is like, I must look to my earliest experiences with running. What got me into running? Let's psychoanalyze this and look at childhood. I grew up attending a very small school in rural Ohio.
Bruh.
Stereotypes were present, but they were far more subtle. There were no tryouts for extracurriculars at the school, so a lot of students got involved in a lot of things. As I was finishing elementary, I realized there was only one thing you could possibly do at my school to get yourself labeled weird: not playing any sports. I knew this because I was a weird kid who did not play any sports. I had zero athletic ability and zero interest in playing or even watching sports. Elementary gym was terrible. The only thing I did not suck at was running the warm-up laps. pretty hard to mess up that activity. As I was finishing up elementary and gearing up to join those big dogs in junior high, I understood I had absolutely no choice but to force myself to play some kind of sport in order to not be weird. Can't say it really worked, but I signed up for this sport called cross country, which is literally just seeing who can run a few miles the fastest. Or should I say, a few kilometers for you non-Americans who use confusing units of measurement. It was a weird way I got into a weird sport, but I saw this as symbolic. I began to learn a lot about what runners are like, and I began to learn a lot about myself and embrace my individuality. As I started training that summer, running multiple miles a week, it took some getting used to. My stomach would get cramps, my lungs would hurt from heaving, and my legs would get sore. I hated it so much that I started to love it. Running became fun because it just felt so good when it stopped. Cross country was the sport nobody wanted to do, and nobody really even knew what it was. At some level of education and at some league, I ran cross country for 9 straight seasons. The common jokes were used over and over. Cross country, my sport is your sport's punishment. Cross country, where the spectators run as much as the athletes. Cross country, we don't play with balls.
I ran cross country in high school. Here's what you do. Run. That's it. We had a coach, I don't know why. His job every day was basically to say, go. They knew that it wasn't a good sport because they came up with a fake name for it. They called it cross country. It should have been called running.
It was a team sport. There is no I in team. There is an E, which stands for everyone, and everyone includes you from your perspective. Therefore, perhaps there is an I in team. Without question, running cross country with my teammates were some of my greatest memories from high school and college. Running countless hours and miles with others is a journey of shared discovery. As you traverse the same paths, you begin to learn about your companions in profound ways. Conversations flow naturally, revealing their personal stories, motivations, and dreams. You witness their resilience in the face of fatigue, their determination to push through pain, and their moments of triumph. These shared experiences foster a deep sense of camaraderie and mutual respect. You learn to support each other, often encouragement and celebrating each other's victories. The bonds formed on these long runs are unique, built on a foundation of shared struggle and collective perseverance. Yet, amidst the collective journey, running also becomes a deeply personal exploration. While the rhythm of the group may guide you, it is your own pace, breath, and heartbeat that you must listen to. You learn to balance the energy of the group with your own needs, understanding when to push harder and when to ease back. This delicate dance between unity and self-awareness sharpens your sense of self. Running teaches you to confront your limitations and discover your strengths. The solitude allows for introspection, helping you understand your fears, aspirations, and depths of your own resilience. Each step becomes a meditation, a chance to reflect on your journey and your growth. You learn to trust your abilities, embrace your discomfort, and find joy in the process. Ultimately, running with others highlights a sense of community, but it also deepens your understanding of your individuality. You realize that while you are part of a larger whole, your unique experiences and perspectives are what make your contribution valuable. Through this balance of togetherness and self-discovery, you come to appreciate the intricate tapestry of human experience. You get addicted. Everyone knows there is no experience on this planet more powerful than LSD. And no, not that kind of LSD, this kind of LSD. Long, slow distance running is one of the greatest things a human being can experience. The more long runs somebody goes on, the more euphoric these experiences become. There comes a point during a long run where you can actually, physiologically, get high. You can experience what is called a runner's high. Runner's high is a state of euphoria that washes over you, a transcendent experience for those who have pushed their bodies beyond the ordinary thresholds of endurance. It begins quietly, as your feet rhythmically hit the ground, one after the other, and your breath finds its own natural cadence. The initial strains of effort, the heaviness in your legs, the pounding of your heart, start to dissolve into something altogether different, something unexpectedly lighter. As you run, your body releases a flood of endorphins, masking pain and inducing feelings of pleasure. The world will seem sharper, your thoughts clearer, and your worries weightless. The scenery around you blurs into a fluid panorama. Colors seem brighter, the air crisper, and the sun warmer against your skin. Time itself may start to feel elastic, either stretching out or contracting, as you lose yourself in the pure, unfiltered moment. In this state, your body feels like it's working in perfect harmony with your mind. The movement becomes effortless, almost as if you're gliding rather than running. It's a sensation of being fully alive, where the boundaries between effort and ease, between the physical and the mental, begin to blur. The pain that once seemed overwhelming is now just background noise, a distant hum that fades out in a symphony of exhilaration. This high is more than just a fleeting feeling. It's a connection to something deeper, a primal rhythm that ties you to the earth beneath your feet and the sky above. It's a moment where you feel as though you're not just running through the world, but with it, part of its pulse, its breath, its endless motion. And when it finally fades, it leaves behind a residue of peace, a lingering sense of accomplishment, and a quiet, almost spiritual contentment that stays with you long after you've stopped running. People get straight up hooked on this. When a runner goes a few days without running, it feels like an unsettling emptiness settles in. 7 days without running literally makes 1 week. The usual sense of balance starts to slip away, replaced by a relentless energy that simmers just beneath the surface. The body, once used to the daily rhythm of movement, begins to feel tense and constrained, like a coiled spring waiting to be released. Mentally, there's a sense of longing, a quiet ache for the simplicity of the run. The mind, accustomed to the clarity that running brings, starts to feel cluttered, with thoughts that once flowed, now jostling for attention. The steady calm that comes from the rhythmic pounding of feet on pavement is replaced by a subtle but persistent agitation, a sense that something essential is missing. Without the daily release, the world feels slightly off, as if the colors have dimmed and the air has thickened. The desire to run becomes a constant undercurrent, pulling at the edges of the mind, reminding the runner of the peace that lies just out of reach. It's a quiet, insistent need to return to the path and to find again the effortless joy that running brings. A runner's addiction to running is a curious and beautiful thing, a craving that nourishes rather than depletes. It's an obsession not born of compulsion, but of a deep, abiding love, a need to chase that fleeting moment when everything falls perfectly into place. This addiction is rooted in the rhythm of the run staying on beat with the symphony of life. The runner is hooked on the feeling of being fully alive. It's in those moments of solitude on the road, when the world fades away and there's only the sound of breath and heartbeat, that the addiction takes hold. The runner doesn't just run for fitness or for the sake of routine. They run because it's where they find themselves, where they connect with something greater. This positive addiction is a form of devotion, a daily pilgrimage that brings peace and clarity. It's not about the miles logged or the calories burned, it's about the serenity that comes with each stride. The runner is addicted to the freedom and the sense of purpose that comes from movement. When I am sad, I run. When I am happy, I run. When I am angry, I run. But it's not until I'm at true ultimate peace that I still run. To quote an overused antidote from Born to Runner Christopher McDougall, every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up. It knows it must outrun the fastest lion or it will be killed. Every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up. It knows it must run faster than the slowest gazelle or it will starve. It doesn't matter whether you're the lion or a gazelle, when the sun comes up, you'd better be running. And so, runners will return to the road day after day, not because they must abide by a routine, but because they can't imagine life any other way. It's a passion that sustains them, a healthy hunger that drives them to step out into the world, eager to find that familiar, sweet release. This addiction is not a chain, but a set of wings, a way to soar above the everyday, to find beauty in the act of moving forward, one stride at a time. There's a scene near the beginning of the film Prefontaine where it artistically portrays Steve Prefontaine as a child getting really upset when he tries to play sports. He tries and he tries and he fails until the point where it shows him running off. The scene shows his legs as he runs off, and there is a montage of him growing older until eventually the scene zooms out and you can see him still running as he is much older. This is one of those movie scenes that has greatly resonated with me through life. It has portrayed an emotion I have long felt that I've never seen better presented. But is this what it means to run? Is it just running away from one's problems, literally? It becomes necessary to realize that if you need to be running recreationally, that you run towards something rather than away from something. This is what every runner becomes, someone who runs toward something. But what is that something? What are runners ultimately running towards? Good question. I don't know either. Runners live in a strange paradox, where they simultaneously embrace both the zen of endurance and the agony of self-inflicted suffering. People resonate with sports on a spiritual level. Sports tap into something primal and rooted in our social fabric. To quote Plato, you can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. To psychoanalyze this again, we understand that children love to play. Society's deep connection to sports often begins in school. It's during these formative years that sports become more than just games. They become rites of passage and sources of identity.
There is nothing that'll ever happen in the rest of our lives that's as important as what's going on right here, right now in high school by these lockers.
Imagine the stereotypical archetype of the jock, built, confident, exuding a kind of effortless power. Now take that exact energy and cram it into the image of an awkward, scrawny runner whose physical physique defies the idea of athleticism. There's this sense of delusional confidence runners can get from achieving these feats of athletic accomplishments. It's channeled in a very strange way, because running isn't about winning a race against others. Alright, just kidding, it's exactly about winning a race against others. However, running is even more about winning a race against yourself. It's about embracing the burn in your lungs, the fatigue in your legs, and pushing through it anyway. There's a kind of delusion in that, a belief that suffering is worth it for the fleeting moments of triumph that only you might fully understand. It's the satisfaction of knowing you've endured when you could have stopped, that you've overcome when it would have been easier to just quit.
Oh my goodness.
It's Hoko, right? This kid, instead of going to Hoko, ran 20 miles.
Hey.
This kid, Jason, what do you have to say?
No, everyone.
Runners are truly the philosophers of the sports world, pondering the meaning of their own pain, finding joy in the solitude of their thoughts, and reaching for something beyond the finish line. They're chasing not just physical distance, but a mental and emotional one too. There is an unwavering, illogical sense of optimism that permeates them. Again, you spend a lot of time by yourself when you're running alone. Things can get unusual when you have such powerful experiences under so much isolation. Runners have a goofy side. Yes, every group is unique and special. Doesn't every group have a goofy side? Well, there's a certain strain of goofy with runners. If I can present to you anything visual that can accurately portray what runners are like, there is that one video that went viral a while back. It may have been some time since you've seen this, but if you ran cross country in the mid-2010s, you more than likely remember this.
Rough patch.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up running culture. There are some levels of cringe. Seeing these videos begs the question, why would anyone want to become a runner? Runners look ridiculous. This is not the ideal standard of beauty. This is not aesthetically pleasing. I once dated a girl who told me I was so skinny, it was gross looking. I can't believe her and I never worked out. Despite the fact that running often results in a lean, scrawny physique rather than a muscular build celebrated in fitness culture, people continue to run with unwavering dedication. To the casual observer, it might seem puzzling why anyone would choose an activity that doesn't necessarily enhance their appearance in the traditionally admired ways. Yet, runners do not care. They are propelled by something far deeper than the pursuit of physical beauty, and isn't that obvious? While runners may appear delusional to those who focus solely on outward appearances, they are in fact deeply in tune with a richer, much more meaningful experience. They run not for the fleeting approval of others, but for the enduring satisfaction of knowing they are stronger, more resilient, and more alive with every step they take. In this way, their so-called delusion is a profound understanding of what truly matters in life. So, what is a runner truly? It comes down to 3 simple words. They got balls. This may sound like a crude simplification. What about runners who don't like using such coarse language? What about runners with testicular ailments? Wait, what about runners who are women? Alright, we can change these words. What is a runner? It comes down to 3 simple words. They got grit. Grit. And not breakfast grits. Grit eats natural talent for breakfast. Grit is the unwavering perseverance and passion for long-term goals. It is the inner strength that drives individuals to keep pushing forward. Grit involves maintaining effort and interest over years despite failure, obstacles, and plateaus in progress. It is characterized by resilience, determination, and a steadfast commitment to achieving one's objectives. People with grit are not easily discouraged. They embrace challenges, learn from criticism, and persist with a sense of purpose and optimism. There is an iconic Steve Prefontaine quote about running that I will unfortunately have to translate for modern online speak. The best pace is unaliving pace, and today is a great day to be unalive. This is what endurance is. Running until you go light in the head and blind yourself. Yes, running is actually 90% mental. The other 10% is also mental. Endurance is the heartbeat of a runner, a silent rhythm that pulses through every stride, every breath, and every mile conquered. It is the quiet strength that whispers keep going when the body screams to stop. This endurance is not just a physical attribute, but a testament to the runner's spirit, a blend of resilience, determination, and unwavering willpower. Each footfall on the pavement is a declaration of their commitment, promise to themselves to push beyond the limits of yesterday. The road ahead is long and often lonely, but it is in this solitude that runners find their true selves. They learn to listen to the rhythm of their heartbeat, to the cadence of their breath, and to the whispers of their soul. This endurance transcends the realm of running and seeps into every facet of life. It becomes a guiding force, a beacon of strength in times of adversity. In the face of challenges, runners draw upon this wellspring of endurance, knowing that they have faced and overcome the seemingly insurmountable before. The same grit that propels them through treacherous conditions fuels their perseverance in the workplace, their patience in relationships, and their courage in the face of life's uncertainties. Endurance teaches runners the art of patience, the value of persistence, and the beauty of progress. It instills in them a profound understanding that success is not a sudden burst, but a steady, relentless journey. This mindset transforms how they approach goals, viewing setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to grow stronger. They learn to embrace the process, to find joy in the journey, and to celebrate the small victories along the way. In the quiet moments of reflection, runners often realize that their greatest achievements are not measured by medals or finish lines, but by the strength they have discovered within themselves. This inner fortitude, cultivated through the discipline of running, becomes a cornerstone of their character. It empowers them to face life's trials with grace, to rise after every fall, and to keep moving forward, no matter how daunting the path ahead may seem. The endurance of a runner is a metaphor for life's journey. It is a reminder that true strength lies not in never failing, but in rising every time we do. It is the quiet assurance that with each step we take, we are becoming the best version of ourselves. And in this relentless pursuit of progress, we find not only our endurance, but our essence. This is the runner stereotype. It emerges not as a mere caricature, but as a symbol of boundless perseverance and unyielding spirit. They are often seen as solitary figures, driven by an inner fire that few can fathom, yet this image only scratches the surface. Runners embody the essence of resilience. They are the lesser-known warriors of the modern age, battling not with swords, but with the relentless cadence of their feet against the earth. Through rain and shine, through pain and triumph, they forge ahead, undeterred by the obstacles that would daunt the faint of heart. In their journey, they teach us that true strength lies not in the absence of struggle, but in the courage to face it head-on, to rise with every fall, and to find joy in the relentless pursuit of one's dreams. And so, the stereotype of a runner transcends mere athleticism. The stereotype is a beacon of hope and an inspiration for all who dare to chase the horizon.